Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to help you out with a guide on how to get 100% success when decrypting Remnant control panels and chests. You will first encounter these on EOS, but they feature several times on each planet as you progress the game. Initially they're just 4x4 featuring 4 glyphs, but later they do become more complicated. However, the formula we use to solve them stays the same, so do not fear. First I'm going to show you the method in detail using the 4 glyph grid, then later I'll show you how to do the 5 glyph grid with some footage of myself working it out in real time with live commentary. If you've ever played Sudoku, then you'll be happy to know that the same rules apply here. The first thing to understand is that the grid is made up of 3 elements: vertical columns, horizontal rows, and then box groups. Now comes the main rule of this game. Each glyph must feature in each column, each row, and each box, but it must only feature once in each of these. Once you understand this fact, then working out where the runes go is simply a process of elimination. Let's start with the E-shaped glyph, which goes in the top left corner. We know this because it's the only missing glyph from that box. The next E-shaped glyph we can place is in the bottom right corner. We know this because there are only 2 spaces left in the box, and an E already exists in one of the rows. Because a glyph can only feature once in a row, it must therefore go in the other slot. This makes placing the final E glyph very easy because there's now only one place it can go. The top right box has no E, but E's already exist in one row and one column. Now all you need to do is apply these rules to all of the other glyphs. The more glyphs you fill in, the easier it becomes for the next. And success! Hopefully this was simple and straightforward enough for you to understand, but if not, keep watching as I explain my thought process in real time in the next clip. Alright, let's take a look at how you solve these puzzles at the Remnant sites. First of all, you follow these yellow lines with your scanner until you find the glyphs, and then click on the glyphs to store them in. There's usually 2 to 3, up to 4. Then you come to the console. This one looks trickier. It's a little bit like Sudoku. Each one must have one of 5, the same 5 glyphs. So each box has to have the same 5 glyphs but in a different order each time. When you've just got the 4, it's quite simple. Let's see how this one pans out. I've never done this type before. So we've got a Y in those 2, no Y in these 3. We've got the double L and double J in those 3, but not in these 2. Now, like Sudoku, I imagine that you can only have 1 in each horizontal or vertical line. So, there's no Y's here, there could be a Y there, there could be a Y there. So out of those 2, one of those 2 has to be a Y. And then coming down, has to be one of those 2 lines, so one of these 2 has to be a J. Sorry, not one of these 2, that one can't be a J. One of these 4 has to be a J. 3 has to be, 2 has to be a J. So one of these 2 here is a J. Which leaves our last J on this side. There's already a J there. There's already a J there, J there. So this has to be a J. And the reason it has to be a J is because we've got 1 there. We've got 1 there. We've got 1 there. We know that there has to be 1 in this line. Because these 2 are already filled in with other glyphs, there is no option for any other thing to go there. It has to be a double J there. And then you apply that to all the different symbols. We know what the 5 symbols have to be because we've been and scanned them. It's just a case of working it out. This may take you a little while as they progress and get harder. If it's too hard and you can't work it out, you can use override decryption keys, remnant decryption keys, which is something you find in chests and that sort of thing. But it's a puzzle, we might as well work it out. Okay. We only need one more J. That has to be J, so all the J's done. Next we will do Y's perhaps. There's already a Y in those. Has to be a Y in these. That has to be a Y. And the reason it has to be a Y... Oh, gone straight past it. Stop clicking. Inside this line, that is a dedicated zone. So those two lines have got a Y in, but there still has to be a Y inside this marked area, and that's the only space left for one to be in, so it's that obvious. Same again, there's a Y there, there's a Y there, so that has to be a Y. Which is leaving very few left. You've got a Y there and a Y there, that has to be a Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's all 5 of those done. Next we could give these E's, G's, something like that. Give them a go. This has to be one because only 2 spaces left. The more you fill in, the quicker and easier it becomes. It's just those initial ones that are quite tricky. It'll take a little bit of thought. Has to be one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's all those done. Now, there's only one block left missing. What shape is it? We've got a Y in there, a J in there. So have we got a missing shape that we don't know about? I think we might have a missing shape that we don't know about. So Y, G and this K. Where can that K go? Well, that K could go in either of those. So that's a bit tricky. What about here? Well, the K can only go there. So now the K can only go there. Right, so all we need to do... Oh, there's another one there. K has to go there. So now we're just missing a single glyph. We don't know what the glyph is because it doesn't feature. But how many different glyphs are there? Well, there's that one. So there is only one glyph that we haven't used. And there we go, solved.
Looks like that did it.
Hopefully you understand my thought process there. If you've ever played a game of Sudoku, it's quite obvious how you do it, quite simple compared to that, because you're only using up to 5 glyphs as opposed to 9 numbers. Good luck.